Everyone, today we are going to learn how to multiply two-digit numbers in our heads. We are going to use our all-time favorite distributive property. Let me put it up on the board. Distributive property. This is when you will really get to use it. So how do we use distributive property? We learned about it in our last lesson. You can look up the previous video. We learned about it in third grade and fourth grade. Now we're in fifth grade. So let's try to multiply 45 times 3. Think of 45, split it into tens and ones. 45 and 40 and 5. It is much easier to do math in our heads by first multiplying 40 times 3 and then 5 times 3. So always think of how we can do math in our heads using these simple strategies. 40 times 3, of course, is 120. 5 times 3 is 15. And then we put those two partial products together. So 120 plus 15 is, of course, 135. Again, how do we multiply 45 times 3? We first take 40 3 times, and then we take 5 3 times. And we end up with two partial products, which is super easy to add up or subtract, as you will see a little bit later in our heads. Now, how do we multiply 45 times 30? Well, we know that 30 is just 3 times 10. Again, let's split this math in our heads into two steps. 45 times 3, we know it's 135, and then take it 10 more times, and that's super easy to do, 1,350. Again, in number 7, when they're asking us to multiply, I'm only going to do the right box. It is up to you to do ACEGIK, while I do BDFH, JL. So let's practice. 48 times 3. 40 times 3 and 8 times 3. Well, 40 times 3 is 120, 8 times 3 is 24, and the rest is history. You know it's super easy, 144. 36 times 7, mental math, no stacking up. 7 times 30 and 7 times 6. Well, 7 times 30 is what, 210, and 7 times 6 is 42. I'm sure you can add those two partial products in your heads. 83 times 6. 80 times 6 is 480. 3 times 6 is 18. And of course, again, no need to help you out here. 498 is the total of two partial products. Let's complete D for doggy. 210 plus 42 is 252. That's super easy. Now, 25 times 40. Well, we know 40 is just 4 times 10. 25 times 4 is 100, and times 10 more equals 1,000. Super easy. 62 times 70. Well, first let's multiply 62 times 7. 62 times 7 using distributive property. 60 times 7, 420, and 2 times 7 is 14. So those are your two partial products, becomes 434 times 10. Don't forget it was not only times 7, but also times 7 tenths, 70. So the total product is 4,340. All this math we're doing mentally. 29 times 80. Here we can think of 29 is 30 minus 1. Again, let's do mental math step by step. Let's think of 80 is 8 times 10. Here's my 10. Let's go. 30 times 8 and 1 times 8. 30 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24, so it's 240. 1, however, we took 38 times. We needed to take only 29 8 times. Let's take away those 8 ones. The result is 232. And on top, we didn't just multiply by 8, we multiplied by 8 tenths. That's what they wanted. So this is super easy, 2,320. This is how we multiply by round numbers in our head. My friends, we now have 41. Let's think of 41. It's not a round number, but let's break it into two parts. Into tens, that's 40, and ones, just one. Let's think of 41 as 40 and 1. Let's go step by step. 38 times 40 and another 38. Again, step 1, let's take 38 40 times and then add another extra 8, and your result is 8, 5, 5, 1,558. I am going to show you how we do examples BDF. I'm going to pick up a different color right here. So let's do this box. Again, as always, I demonstrate BDFH and you do ACE, GIK, and so on. So again, we need to multiply. Look at those beautiful factors. Times 51, times 31, times 81. It is much easier to think of them as 50 and one more, or 80 and one more. Let's break up example B into steps. We would do 26 times 50 and another extra 26 because we need to take 26 51 times, not 50 times. But it is much easier to write it out, to think of 51 as first 50 and then one more time. 26 taken 5 times. Ooh, there is some mental math here. Of course, again, let me pick up another color. We would multiply 20 times 5 and 6 times 5. Let's write it multiply. I'm going to use my yellow color. So let's create those partial products. 20 times 5 is 100 and 6 times 5 is 30. So 26 times 5 is 130. We need to multiply times 10 for 50, right? This is your 10. So it becomes 1,326 more. 1,326. These are tough examples. Let's do 35 times 81. Again, first, let's think of 35. Let's do this. 35. First, let's take it 80 times. And then one extra 35 for 81st time. 81st time. Let's use distributive property. 35, we can think of it as 30 times 8 and 5 times 8. Well, 30 times 8 is 240. 5 times 8 is 40. Together, 35 taken 8 times is 280. But we have 80. So one extra 0, 2,800 plus another 35, right? So it's 2,835. My friends, tough examples. I'm going to do example D right below here at the bottom of page 37. Let me rewrite it. 69 taken 31 times. There's so many ways to think about it, but let's think of 31 as 30 and 1. Let's go. Let's take 69 30 times and then take another extra 69 because we need to take 69 31 times. So let's use our friend distributive property. 69 60 times 3 and 9 times 3. What do we have? 60 times 3 is 180. 9 times 3 is 27. The two partial products is 207. But then we have to multiply times 10. And there's that extra 0 plus 69. And together we will have 9, 13, 2,139. 2,939. Thank you so much. One few more examples will be in the next video.